Christies is the one auction house that is always, international auction house that has had a presence in India for a very long time, going back over 20 years. We have a beautiful office at the seafront, and more recently at the Dhanraj Mahal building, 2 minutes away from the Taj Hotel in Bombay. So it's been a very long-standing commitment. We've believed in India for all this time. And in a sense now is another big moment where another great chapter will start. In India, I think there's a whole new level of excitement, and it will help, I'm sure, the economy, and with that, also Indian art. We are the market leaders in Indian modern and contemporary art, as well as classical art. We started a department in New York in 1998, looking at the Indian classical market that had shifted from London to New York. We saw new buyers emerging in America. Why? It was the NRIs who came to study in America and made a success of themselves and started to identify with their culture in a new way. And we see this as a typical phenomenon, that you then, as a new collector, not really knowing so much about your own heritage maybe at that point, but you buy into the art of your time. Modern and contemporary art, and that's not just specific for Indian collectors. So really in America it took off after 2000, that there was a new interest in Indian modern and contemporary art. And in 2002, it was the first time we sold a painting over $100,000, over 1 crore actually, which was Tayyab Mehta's Celebration. It was all over the Times of India. It was a major step. And then 2005, when Tayyab Mehta's work, and he came to join us in New York that time after 40 years, it had the Rockefeller grant in the 60s, which changed his way of how to develop his art, which he never forgot. He said, so New York plays an important role for the path of Indian modernism through the Rockefeller grants. Anyway, that time we sold the painting first time over $1 million. He was there on the aisle. He got a standing ovation when we crossed 1 million, and he made 1.5. I think that was a really, really big step. From there, we've progressed to Raza as the great modernist, who's now not in such good health in Delhi, where we crossed 3.5 million. That was Saurashtra in 2008 that we sold here in London. And then, of course, it all led up to our great sale in Mumbai, which has been our long-standing vision to develop the market in India itself. That, of course, is our goal. And the Mumbai sale, which is also, it really came together in many good ways. It was lots of little steps that were required to make it happen. Number one was really Keiko and Khurshid Gandhi, the great collectors, mentors, framers, of course. It was the Chemold Gallery, the name derived from chemical molding. They made the frames. The artists would come to them and have their works framed. But from that evolved a gallery business. Have the works there, have a forum of exchange. And those of you who met Keiko, he was a wonderful human being. And that was the thing that really helped the path of Indian modernism. So we were extraordinarily fortunate in some ways that we were able to handle his estate. Also his widow, Khurshid, who played a fundamental role. She was really the businesswoman behind it. She was the one disciplined, and he was the artist. He was the motivator. He was the ambassador for Indian art. So that really was an extraordinary collaboration. So when we had their estate, the works that they lived with in their beautiful house, Kiko Mansio, and that told the story of the development of Indian modernism. And we had all this fabulous documentary material to make a catalogue that is something new, that communicates this history. So we were fortunate to be able to do that, and I think that's what people connected to. So I think that was the magic. We were able to build around it with some extraordinary works. We're always very selective. We are curators. We want to present the best. This London sale too, we've reduced the number of lots to less than 100 to be really picking out the best and present the best. So that, I think, has been the path. So the future looks very bright. Next step is, of course, also to look at antiquities in India itself. It will be possible in the future to handle works. They cannot leave the country, but of course they can stay within India. So we'd love to develop that at some point as well, to shine the light on India's extraordinary heritage. So I'd like to say that at Christies we also help support various initiatives such as the Kochi Biennale. That has been an enormous step. Now as this second one will be coming with Jitish Kalat as the artistic director, and we've got a number of his works here too that are available. And also the V&A exhibition of Hussein's works that he did for the Mittal family that we've also helped sponsor, and Amin is here, who was very instrumental with that. So that's a nice thing for you to see as well. It is, someone just reminded me, it is actually the anniversary of Hussein's death 1 year ago. That was a shock for us at the time, very much a shock. Nobody expected him. We thought he would live forever. And he does live on in our minds, of course, but it was an extraordinary fortune for him that he could work the way he did till the very end, and we never thought. I mean, it's extraordinary at age 95, the vigor and vitality he never lost over the last decades of his life. And we also have, I'd like to point out Romain here, standing there, who has put together a beautiful show at Christie's South Kensington, and which is the Arts of India. We've established an India week here. This is the second year now, and everyone is sort of joining forces now with the dealers around us too. So that's a nice new focus. Of course, June is the best time in London, and with many guests from India visiting. And Romain has also put together an auction of India on paper, which is a private collection of Indian paintings that are really of extraordinary quality. That's all on view at South Kensington. And those works, there is no printed catalogue, it's all for you to see online, but also to see in person. And you submit the bids through the internet.
Exactly, on Christies.com.
And I think the time is running, but if you are, it's sort of those last 5-10 minutes that count. If you put a bid and someone else comes in, we give you another 5 minutes, I think it is, right?
Exactly.
So make sure that you have the time.